Hey y'all, it's Debbie Sexton.
And it's Zach Davis with Trippin' Legends.
And today we're in the world famous Stockyards in Fort Worth, Texas. And we're gonna go into Miss Molly's right here and find out the haunted legend about this bed and breakfast. Hey, it's Debbie Sexton with Trippin' Legends. And today we're at the world famous historical Miss Molly's with Miss Molly. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
This is such a cool, quaint place. Now, kind of give us a rundown about Miss Molly's.
Well, Miss Molly's was opened in 1910 as a elite hotel for wealthy cattlemen, which it didn't stay for very long before it turned into a bordello. And during the bordello days, from about the 1910 and up until about the 1950s, it was a working brothel. And then, of course, they outlawed prostitution, and so it was changed into a boarding house for a short while. And then it was, in 1989, it was turned into Miss Molly's Bed and Breakfast, which was Fort Worth's first bed and breakfast.
Wow.
Which now, of course, the laws have changed, and we are back to a hotel, not serving breakfast, but it's still Miss Molly's Hotel.
And it is such a quaint, cool place. We're going to take you through it, but it's also haunted, and with Halloween being just around the corner, we wanted to give you firsthand with Miss Molly. She's going to take us on a tour and tell us about the different hauntings and the rooms.
This is the Miss Josie room, and it was the madam's quarters during the bordello days. So it has a queen bed, and the only private bath in the hotel that's inside the room is in the Miss Josie room. Many reports of guests sleeping in the bed and waking up to see the Victorian lady standing at the foot of the bed watching them sleep. There's a lot of different spirits in Miss Molly's, and most of them are friendly or prankster.
Like what have the pranksters done?
Well, like you put your cell phone on the nightstand and you go to sleep, and the next morning it's over here across the room on the dresser, and nobody's been in here. This is the Miss Amelia room. Miss Amelia was one of the proprietors ladies during the bordello days as well. Her stay wasn't as long as Miss King's, but this room has a little girl that's about 8 or 9 years old that was born to one of the prostitutes during the bordello days that died in this room of childhood disease about the age of 9 or 10, somewhere along in there. And she's been heard and seen by several investigative teams. They've captured her, audio or visual. She likes to play with dolls. If you set toys out or something, you'll come back and they'll be moved, that kind of thing. I've heard her myself, and we've had Ghost Lab in here, and they got documentation of her audio where she's standing outside the door going, "I hate dancing." And she's just a little girl that Mama was a dance hall lady, and she didn't like it.
Yeah.
But she was just adamant, "I hate dancing." So we have several children that inhabit the presence of us while we're here. Yeah, that reside at Miss Molly's. Several children. We have one little boy that's named Bobby. He likes to go in the bathrooms and terrorize the women.
Does he really?
Pull their hair, or mess with the shower curtain, or talk, The cattleman's room, and of which it's in honor of our cattleman that was part of the Stockyards' first creation and kept us in business for a while. These cattlemen would come in, they were off the trail, they were dirty and hungry and wanted a woman. So we were able to accommodate most of that. The Star Cafe right below us, I'm sure, was saloon and cafe back in those days. But the Gunslinger Room was, the women love this room. It's the closest one to Miss Josie's room that we have, with the pink and the...
So has anything happened in here?
Yes. Actually, I've had people lying in bed and tell me that when the door was shut, that a woman, sort of the transparent apparition, came through the door, turned and opened the closet door, stood there for a few minutes like she was choosing something to wear, then closed the door and walked out back through the solid door.
Wow.
And the lady that, I've had that told to me several times, but the one particular time the lady opened her eyes and was watching it, and she was so afraid she didn't move or speak or anything, and she just watched the whole thing transpire. You may want to get some pictures of this The Gathering, the most unique picture ever taken, was in 1883, and it's got the legend at the bottom where the people are listed of who all's in it. Basically, it's the good guys and the bad guys all in the same picture. That's the only time they ever had a picture taken together.
Which is amazing because you've got Doc Holliday,
Masterson.
Yeah, Butch Cassidy, and there was no photoshopping back then.
Oh, and how about this Liver-Eating Johnson? Can't forget him.
Liver-Eating Johnson.
Yes.
I love it.
Wyatt Earp, Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, they're numbered, and you have to get a microscope, I guess, to see the face on them people, but they are numbered, and the legend at the bottom tells who they are. And of course, you can't forget Judge Roy Bean.
Yes.
With his saloon next door. He owned both, the law office and the saloon. So when somebody walked in, he got all their money.
Yeah.
The next room is the railroader room, and we have a resident cowboy ghost named Jake that visits. He comes and goes. He doesn't communicate, but he's been seen all over the Stockyards.
Oh, all over.
At the Cattleman's, the Longhorn Saloon, the White Elephant. He's been spotted when they were closed by workers.
And it's the same.
And it's the same guy. And they see him, and they've seen him drinking a beer at the bar. I mean, really, it's just too much. I mean, it's almost unbelievable. If you weren't down here and experiencing it, it would be tough to swallow.
And this is the full apparition that you saw.
The full body apparition.
So I want you to tell the story, and then we'll go in and check out that room.
Okay, that's the railroader room. Now, he was a cowboy with the big hat, had on the cowboy duster and the spurs, the boots and the spurs, and he just would walk in and out. He would come and go. And sometimes he would just walk around out in the parlor, just walking around. And it's always like between 1 and 3 a.m. or p.m.
Really?
Every time I've seen him or had any contact with him, it's, I don't know what that's got to do with it, but between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. or between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. is when I've had all my encounters with Jake. So
tell us the first time.
Oh,
so you're new, right?
I laughed and laughed over that. I had been here just a few months, and I didn't know it was haunted. And nobody bothered to tell me, and I didn't bother to research it like a nut. But I was back in the back doing laundry, and I came around the corner, and I saw this man walking right into this room. And the door shut behind him and locked. And I thought, I've got the doors locked. Nobody can be in here. So I walked over here, and I knocked on the door and said, hello. Opened it up, nobody there, and I thought, okay, I'm just seeing things, you know, I need more sleep or, you know, something. So a couple of days went by, and I came around the corner again, saw the same guy walking towards the same room, and so, because I only saw the back of him both times, see, and so I stomped my foot real loud, and I said, hey, and he just kept walking. Well, he came in here, the door shut and it locked. Well, that instantly infuriated me because, you know, love me, hate me, but don't ignore me thing. So I come storming in here, and he was not in here the second time, and I watched him walk into this room both times.
And
physically walk in,
and he's physically opening the door.
No, the door was open.
The door was open.
It would shut behind him.
Oh,
but we've got door stops. Those doors don't shut with the door stop down.
Right.
And he walked in right past it, and the door shut. So that stop didn't stop the doors. I'm like, I don't have an explanation for that. But the second time I came in here, and I had known all of these lights were out because it was the middle of the day. I was working, and I had all the lights off, and when I came in here, the overhead lights were running, all the lamps were on, and of course I didn't see him again the second time. But that so unnerved me after happening 2 times within a period of 3 days that I called in help, and I said, I want to know what's in here and what I can do about it. And that's when they told me, the place is haunted, it's full of spirits.
So whether you believe in ghosts or not, this is definitely a quaint, lovely place.
Yeah.
It really is. It's over 100 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you guys also have other places in the Stockyards, right?
Yes, we have, around the corner, we have the Stonehouse Hotel, and it's got 9 rooms, 8 that we use for guest rooms, and it's an authentic cowboy boarding house.
That's so cool.
You walk in, and it's kind of like a shotgun house, you know,
Yeah.
the front door and back door. You go straight through, and then it has 2 stories. The first story has got 3 rooms on it, and the second story has got 5 rooms on it. And all the rooms are single queens, but some of them have private baths and some of them have shared baths, which that was the way it was back then, just like at Miss Molly's. And It's about 100 years old too.
Wow. Is there? You guys have another hotel?
We have the Cadillac Hotel, which is we use as an overflow hotel. It's boarding house style. All the rooms share hallway baths, and it's just extra rooms. They're nice, big rooms. They're clean, and it isn't a historical building, but the rooms are nice and neat and clean and very, very accommodating.
So the spirits have seen everything here.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. And you guys check out Miss Molly's. It is worth it. It is definitely worth it. Whether you believe in spirits or not, this place is amazing. It's historical. And you're probably going to be being watched.
Yeah, it'll be fun. That's what happens if you try to run and don't pay the bill.
What are we looking at? I didn't see
Legs.
Oh!
Yeah, he didn't get too far. So there's actually out in the parlor a plaque, and it shows the original documentation of a brothel inspector.
Really?
And a brothel inspector's badge. There's a real badge out there.
How many men would love to be
I don't know what they were inspecting.
an inspector? Gynecologists nowadays.
I don't know what they were inspecting, but you know.
They're perfect. Hey y'all, it's Debbie Sexton.
And it's Zach Davis.
Guess where we are? We're in Fort Worth, Texas, baby. World famous Stockyards. And today we're going to the famous Miss Molly's Bed and Breakfast.
Oh.
It's haunted, so let's go check it out.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's Debbie Sexton.
It's Zach Davis with Trippin' Legends.
And today we're in the world famous Stockyards in Fort Worth, Texas. And we're about to go inside Miss Molly's Bed and Breakfast and see who's so.
Hey everybody, it's Zach Davis
It's Debbie Sexton.
with Trippin' Legends.
And today we are in the world famous Stockyards in Fort Worth, Texas. We're about to go visit Miss Molly's.
Yes, of Miss Molly's bread and other things.